Alright. Welcome, everyone, to tonight's festivities. We shall continue our lovely escapades as the Sigil Seeker, Master of Storms, the Lightning Lord. Let's see what we can happen. We were trying to report to, last time, we were trying to report to Tunon. And on our way, we got held up by the Brahmins Brotherhood, who we unfortunately had to come to blows with, and their leader ran away. And then we pressed on to Lethian's Crossing, and are now there. We want to press on to Tunon's court and report to him at the Bastard City, but that's unfortunately not what we're able to do at this time, as we must ensure Lethian's Crossing is protected, for we are its governor, and we will not lose that which we possess. We have claimed it as our own, and our own it shall remain. So, buckle up, and let's see what tonight's festivities shall bring. We will master the sigils. We will master this realm. Ah, yes. We have Siren with us.
Affirmative.
I was going to see if we could get a decent melee build for her, and I failed that. In fact, I utterly and completely forgot, because life has been, well, life. Discordant Melody, 15 performance. It is your staff. Arcane. Not bad. The Entertainer is the nice thing on it. 15 performance. You have a performance skill? You do. What is that for? Vitality and wits. Interesting. Okay, so she needs high vitality. I did not realize that. I would have made it higher. Okay. Surprisingly, her lore skill is actually fairly low, because I did not realize that it was vitality and performance that she used in place of lore. Oh, there it is. It's like, what happened to all our stuff? Alright, let's see. You are wearing light armor. Songbird. What is this? Oh, right. Interesting. So, looks like this is going to be another one of those quest things to remove, kind of like Barrack's armor. And what? Removing it is going to make her more powerful? I would assume so. That also means that she can't equip other armor. Let's see. You have that. Reduces recovery, but will give more protection. And I wonder if we need to up your protection, though. Sorry, there you go. That might be a little more, protective. It does give you worse recovery. But I do think the extra armor might help. We'll leave it for now. Heavy leather and light leather. What's the difference? Heavy leather is actually worse. Interesting. Okay. Well, that's good to know. We'll geared her out with that. I do think she may need that still. However, secondary weapon, dual wield, one-handed, about the same. Two-handed and unarmed. Could ever go unarmed. Just punch the daylights out of stuff. Oh yeah! Hey, a monk. Hey, punch thing. Yeah, maybe. We'll think about it. But hey, we got our group right now. Kinda disappointed we don't have our Gravelight Lady, because I wouldn't mind getting that ability. But hey, alright, we'll do what we can. Hope you're all having a splendid evening, and I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Ding dong. I think this is actually on the wrong hard drive, now that I think about it. I need to look at that. Dog. Alright, I think that was the last door. Then who are we supposed to talk to about Lethian's Crossing being attacked? Actually, I got something for you. Not to buy, more to, sell. There we go. Considering selling those. Oh yeah, we're gonna put the hammer on the other lady. Oh well. Yeah, why not? We'll go with the other stuff. This needs subterfuge. That would not be bad. Do you want to see what that can turn into? Oh yeah. There you go. Thanks for taking that off. Or taking a load off for us. I appreciate it. I wouldn't normally, but I want to see if we stick around a little bit longer if they show up so we can alleviate their existence. I was hoping I could talk to First Axe and convince her to take up gainful employment with me in exchange for removing the problem. Go ahead and equip some of this stuff anyways. Because, you know, probably should. Because I guess you're not going to let me break them into chunks, which is really kind of frustrating. Either that or I just don't know the right key, which is probably more the problem. Ooh, not bad. Wits. Not bad, not bad. We'll do that. Why not? Why not? And then I just remembered we do need to give you some basic sigils. It's interesting, you have a lot, but not a whole lot you can do. You do seem like the fiery sort, so let's give you some of that. That's going to immediately bump you almost too high, though. Yeah, 50. 45. So, we're doing this, and then you go into melee. Maybe that's what we do. Like that. Definitely think illusions are your style. You actually don't need that one. You need this one on that more so. That bumps it too high. Guess we'll do that. Yeah, that'll do 45. Yup, too high. Not too high. That's 30, so I can go 45. And everything else is more than that, so nothing else can be done. Healing would not be bad. Yeah, just the basic. That's what I thought. You know, it's something. Not bad. But I don't know how often we'll be getting fire damage thrown against us is the only problem. Never heard 7 actually heal in the party, so why not? No, that's 55. That's 45. You have 55 and 55, okay. I think we're good. There are a few more abilities, so that's good. You never know when you're going to need those extra abilities, so it's always worth doing it.
You see what I see?
I do, Barrick. And I'm going to place an acquisition on that right fast. Oh, lovely. I guess we need to go back to her. I don't want to go through there quite yet. See what else we can find. And again, you know, being in the old walls at all is technically illegal. Hmm. Bronze Great Axe. For sale. Does anyone want to buy a Bronze Great Axe? I have one. Oh, yeah. What do we get here? Or portion of an image. Ancient relief. When collecting enough imprints, it may be possible to reconstruct the original shape of the rune. Yes. Then we'll look for more. See how the pattern looks broken along two edges? I think there's more to the engraving than what's here. Then we will look for more. Entry. Agreed. If we collect enough sketches and imprints, we could no doubt reconstruct the original image in its entirety. Well, let's see. That engraving was here somewhere, I take it. I see. Right. Alright, well, let's go. Forgot we'd gotten that, and of course we let the other person go who has it, which I think was kind of a mistake, but it's a little late to go back.
Can you feel it? There's power here. We should explore.
Yes, Songbird, that's what we're doing. Mm-hmm. Hold on a moment. If my senses of direction is at all reasonable, we are standing below the spire in this region. Mm-hmm. What do you know of the spire? We already asked you that. What do you recommend? I'd start with the groves and stones on the floor over there. If it's like the spire at Vendrian's Well, whoever built this created a mystical conduit on the top. And I'd think the very, very unlikely that the pattern is merely decorative. Press on. Yeah, that's probably what the charcoal thing is, right?
I had a copper ring for every glyph I've sketched today.
Right.
thought that's what it was. Is it incomplete? Hey, Clark. How's it going? So that is what's in the sketch right now, right? Yeah. Oh, are we supposed to have that? Maybe? Oh, good, it stays up. Looks like maybe this part is. Oh. Oh, it was. Doing alright. Had a bit of a
Let's be
crazy
off.
day. And now we're back here in Tyranny, seeing what kind of fun, crazy trouble we can get into. Mess around with the old walls that, is technically forbidden by Kairos. But, I'm sure nothing bad could possibly come of it. Messing with ancient powers that people don't know anything about. Ah, Spire unlocked. Oh yeah. Training ground, forge, library, infirmary. Maintenance. 5 resources, right? And tell me where you're writing from, and how to reach you, and I will send you an iron ring for your troubles. I had an idea of a message in a bottle. What's that, a bottle? Maybe it'll work. From here, even the old walls seem paltry. This sovereign view is not intended for the likes of us. Yeah, I figured it was. Yeah, I definitely would be up for trying to take a look at that sometime, Clark. I saw Blue Dragon got a really cool picture of one that he made, and it looked really good. And I'm actually thinking about, since you have to have an area in the plains, I'm going to have a community place in the plains where everyone gets to build their own house. Like, I want you and Dragon and whoever else wants to come and build your own building there. And that will be our base of operations in the plains. So you can build your circle house there, we can fix it up and make it work. He can build his there, and like everyone can build their building, their special building, their main source of everything. So that's my current plan. Do have to get back to it, but we definitely will at some point. I knew that all the way up here while I sat below, wasting my time trying to gather a group of followers from the refugees in Lethian's Crossing. The untapped power of this spire is astounding. I must find how to get some. Unlocking the spire seems to have opened some deeper connection. I don't know what you've done, but standing near you warms my rusted bones. Makes me feel lighter somehow. Curious, I'm noting something I also observed at the spire in Vendrian's Well. There's a mystical hum, and it's a little beats when you walk. Tiny fluctuations when you talk. Unless my senses are deceiving me, you and the spires are mystically attuned to one another. Most fascinating indeed. I feel it too. The air is thick up here, isn't it? Exactly the opposite of what you'd expect. Magic up here is almost physical presence. I'm thinking I want the library, but I want the forge. Oh. I'm going to do the forge here. It only makes sense that we do the forge in the place of the forge. But I want the library. We'll make the library be the next one. I just think this is the best place for the forge because you have the forge bound right below. Ah, welcome, forge bound. See, and that's why I thought here is the best, because then they're with their kin. Oh, hey, Verse. Are you... Oh, Eb is here. Oh, wow. Cool. Ooh. I'll be with you in just a moment. Oh, yes, please. Oh, oh. All the yes.
Look here.
A small settlement resides in the banks of a large river. Oh, wow. That is definitely a view, and I love how they actually put it there. You can actually see it. That is so cool. Ardent bronze. Okay, not bad. Alright. So we have 6 we can hire here. Yes. Kinda think we need both of these. Metal armors. Light armors. Vigor and stone. Fire, frost, lightning, and vigor. Okay, interesting. Maintenance. Oof. So this one's free, and this one we pay maintenance for. Alright. The court is abuzz with the news of the Civil War. Representatives from the chorus and the disfavored are having little shouting matches in front of Tunon. The petitioners to the court seem to sweep up in talks of who will crush who, and if and when Tunon will bring down the gavel to stop the fighting. What has me more intrigued is the other stories out of Vendrian's Well. Tunon sends you on what I thought was going to be a one-way trip to the well, and not only do you live, you somehow claimed Mountain Spire, and you broke Kyrus's edict, too. Such things make a little civil war seem trivial in comparison, at least to those who can separate the messages from them. Tell me, what was it like to break an edict? And how it is you took control of the spire? like that. We're not telling him we won't tell him. We're just saying, hey, you taught us. Yeah, I see that being the right course of action. Alright. Forgebound favor 3. Yes! Because we have 4. The forge fires burn bright, Fatebinder. How may I serve? What can you tell me of this hilt? Ah, that looks like the hilt of Sentinel, one of the finest swords Forgebound had ever made. With this, I could recreate it if you want. Is there anything else I can do for you? References. I found references to a dagger called Heartblood. What can you tell me of it? Ah, Heartblood, really? Let me see that book. Ah, this is incredible. Unfortunately, the information in the book isn't sufficient for me to recreate it. If you were able to give me more information on it, I could probably make it for you. Alright. Tell me more about the forge. You want to upgrade your weapons and armor? You can use the anvil. It should be simple enough if you got the material. If you need something that requires a mastersmith, like forging one-of-a-kind item, come talk to me and I'll see what can be done. Let's see what you can craft for me. Certainly, Fatebinder. Oh, yes. Twice forged bronze shirt. Okay. So much. So much, yes. Phew. Expensive. But that'll probably get our power rating up, which I know we need to do. Okay. Interesting. So it takes a long time. And it's very expensive. Oh, we don't have Hound's Hide Mantle. So we need to find Hound's Hide Mantle first. Before we can do that. Interesting. This we could do if we had the money. But we do not have that currently. That is pretty awesome. Alchemist gloves sound something we might want. Control life, yeah. Give this to Lantry. Okay, we definitely have things here we need. Oof. We need a lot more money. Let's see what we can do here. Ah, so we can upgrade it. Interesting. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, no, I understand that, man. I understand that. They really need to come out with the option for dome-based. Like, they really need more building pieces for that. 3 ingots. We could probably manage that. Before we do that, not what I meant to do. There. So it made it sound like travel from here to here would be quick. Am I not allowed to leave? That's odd. Why can I not leave? Forge bound upgrade. Yes! Such a good thing. Such a good thing. Why is it not letting me... There we go. Took you 15 minutes. Oh. No way. We can make 15 minutes and make it, like, a quarter of the way across the peninsula. Like it was nothing. That is awesome. I wanted to see what we had to offer here.
On the lookout.
Well, if it ain't Big Bad Boss, come to take a look at my wares. And picking from the finest of the battlefield corpses, I can assure you. I didn't realize you're Scarlet Chorus. I'm sorry. Let's see what you have in stock. Not realize this individual was of the problem. He has some good gear, though. I can't fault him there. Tearsman Spine Bow, exquisite. Crimson Great Spear, exquisite. Crimson Spear, gauntlets. Crimson Shoulder Leather. Scarlet Fury, exquisite. Yeah, that's some pretty expensive gear, dude. Banded Fur Mantle. Oh, is that the one we needed? No. Only Kills and Shadow can equip this. What? What's Kills and Shadow? Interesting. The Swindler. Interesting. What do you have to say for yourself, Swindler? Meant to talk to you. Oh, lovely. You're Scarlet Chorus, dude. Did I get every one of the Scarlet Chorus or something? My word. Speak with Henderson and Lethian's Crossing. I can tell you that his access best supplied into so they in his death. Farewell. Alright. Ah, see, at least you're forge-bound. I like forge-bound. Can drink the smelter. Not quite a master, but, you know, getting there. I've never worked for this high up before. First time for everything. Let's put you to work finding some weapons, shall we? I'm working, Finder. Always working. Come check back later. Yes, Landry, what do you wish to
So,
speak on?
your latest acquisition has me thinking about the spires some more. By all accounts, they go as far back as the old walls. Over the centuries, the nobles of the tiers have claimed the spires, but they've only ever battled over the land at the ground level of the monuments. I've never seen the glyphs of a spire light up in all my years. Not until you show up. If this were an isolated incident, I'd be confused. But it seems the spires, plural, are somehow connected to you. What's your secret?
No idea, but I've studied at the feet of Tunon, proclaimed edicts, broken them. I'm sure I've been exposed to all sorts of arcane powers. You know, I'd like to know what you're thinking.
My mind is going back to Ascension Hall. I wonder if Graven Ash or Narot had claimed it as their own, would the spire come alive for either of them the way it did for you?
The Edict of Execution was pushing for someone to claim Ascension Hall. Couldn't be a coincidence, could it?
Such a clever child. I can't imagine the Overlord would ever carelessly word an edict. You are right. I don't imagine Kairos leaves anything to mere coincidence.
Do you think that the spires are connected to Kairos in some fashion?
If you're asking if Kairos built them or controls them, no. They predate all mention of Kairos, and I'm sure if Kairos could control the other spires, that fact would be shamelessly flaunted. But it occurs to me that perhaps Kairos didn't have a connection, but does now, thanks to your actions.
Are there stories of awakened spires elsewhere in Trontis?
There are other spires, and I've heard of notable figures trying to build monuments atop or astride the spires, but nothing I've read matches the mystical connection you've made with the spire.
Very well, let's get going. Give me just a moment. There we go. Thank you for your patience. Had to quickly send a message. So what do you think of the spires? Oh, they're big, but make no mistake. A German army could knock one down if they got enough shovels to mix together. Don't be quick to assume that you're invincible. As they are, I try not to ask those sort of questions. Why does the Voices not blank strongholds? Because there's no point in standing still. The Voices prefers to keep the forces busy and on the move, with only restful hour between dusk and dawn. Besides, fighters in motion are less likely to rise up and challenge authority. Safety in numbers. But once you get people hunkering down and discussing their problems, suddenly everyone has a reason to kill the closest gang boss. Alright.
What do you need?
We'll talk again later. Don't think you already talked about Barrack yet.
A second spire has awoken to your presence. This is fascinating, and I admit enviable. If it turns out your connection to the spires invites death and woe, my jealousy might wane a bit. I've been mulling over that structure we found atop Vendrian's well. Would you be opposed to me studying the sculpture in closer detail? I'd perhaps work a spell or two near the structure. Simple cantrips of gravelight by which to read and inspect, but I will not poke or shove the thing in any way physical or mystical.
You don't need to ask my permission. Just, be cautious.
Thank you. Next time we have a good moonlit night, I best settle in and see what sort of magic perturbations I can sense from the sculpture. What is it you need?
That is all for now. Farewell. Alright. So, we do need more people. Get your head up as well. Fortunately, I've kind of brought that down. Oh well. So I need 6 people here, at least 5, and it wouldn't hurt to have the others here, but I don't need them. Like, I'd like to have him, but that's okay. Yeah, it'd be best to get these first so we can get the other things built. Provides iron, provides bronze. Let's get those two. Can't do it. Guess we'll have to come back again later. When we have more stuff to sell. Don't really think we have much to sell right now. Sell a sword, an axe. A few minor items, but yeah, not much. No armor to sell. We do have this. Piercing. Sure. That means our spells like this could have piercing put on them. And it takes 30. Ew! Alright, well, that's expensive. Alright. We need to have more lore. That's for certain. Oh, man. Interesting. So that should go to the other spot, but it's not. Yeah, we got that we can sell. Alright. You buy stuff, I think. Let's see what you have in stock. Yeah, I definitely should keep those. Go ahead and sell that, though, I guess. We do kind of need some more money. We will add that to someone. So let's be done here. Open that up, and where was it? Here. Eric, you needed some 75, 40. We'll give you that. These only give 25, so put those on everyone else. Right, so back to the spire. We need to go to Forge, and we can hire some more people. Yay! Merchant. Unique weapons. Yes. Metal armors. Light armors. Don't really need metal armors right now. We do need more people here, though. A metal, light, and then we can get a trainer, I guess. That'll fill out everyone. Mainly just trying to get the slots filled so we can get the stuff made when we have the money. So, yeah. Let's go over and see what they have to offer. Oh, look. A whole 30 minutes have passed. What? Why aren't you working? Yeah, see, look. 15 minutes. Just bloop. That took us, like, days to travel that distance. And now we can travel it in 15 minutes. There we go. Dryafryer, if what they say is true, the magic of the spire, it will be my distinct honor to work for you among these forges. What have you made for me? I don't have anything at the moment. Check back later. Very well. Governor, it is all right if I refer to you by your old form of address. Is it okay? We have yet to have someone run Lethian's Crossing as well as you did. So far as I'm concerned, the mantle will always be yours. If I may be so bold, I have a question for you. Very well, ask away. From where does Kairos' power truly stem? Is it from magic of the edicts, or is it from the archons, or perhaps from loyal subjects under the toil? Hmm. Ah, interesting. Two is kind of true. However, 1 and 3 is also true. Go with 2. What have you made for me? Very well. Greetings, Vic Bander. I may not be a mystic or mighty warrior, but what I possess are my connections in the world of trade. So you've traveled the world. Yes, I've seen the Empire from one end to another. It would seem that my travels always take me to the very heart of Kairos' conquest. The tears, however, they are unlike anything I've seen before. I'm sorry to digress. I am sure you would like me to see my wares. What is different about the tears? The tears is rich with a long and complicated history, a crucible of sorts of leaders and of palpable magnitude. If I would be surprised if Kairos herself was a tearsman eons ago. Interesting. What do you have for sale? Oh, now we're talking. Look at that. That's a big hammer. Tex would be proud of that hammer. Tex would be proud of that hammer. Uh-oh. Give me a second. The chat said it froze up, so I want to make sure I get it up. In another form, since otherwise it won't. There we go. Thanks for your patience. I hate when it times out and I miss things, so I'm trying to make sure I don't. Not sure why it does that from time to time, but it does. Alright, so we are devastating. Ooh. Wow. Alright. And that is devastating. Same. Alright. All damage increased by 20% at night. Burning bow. Nice, nice. Bleeding bow. He definitely has some good weapons. I mean, you can't say he doesn't. The price is the only issue. Please keep that stock available. I need more money. I need a lot more money. I've seen anything like this in all my years. I'm apprentice of the opportunity given me. I appreciate the opportunity you've given me. Please take a look at my wares. See what you like. Let me see what you have. Heavy bronze, forged bronze, apprentice armor. Iron knockers, iron spiked helm. Alright. Ashen cowl. Ooh, immune to burning. That is not bad. But of course, more money we have, except for that would be nice to get Barrack and we could afford it, except... Oh right, he can't wear it yet. Alright, let's see. And more rings than we have. Of course. Of course. There it is. It's like, where are the other towers? There's one there, and one there. Okay. Can I have all the towers? I want, well, spires. I would be the spire master. There's a spire right here, right now. I'd step all over it. Alright, let's quickly check Lethians. Go ahead and save quickly. So we can load back if need be, because I want to see if, there's any sort of trouble we can deal with before it arrives. Found that letter from the lady. We need to see if there's anything else we can do. Like, say, hey, can we solve your problem? Say, what? Why did I start down here? That's weird.
Won't happen.
Yeah, it will. We'll obey. Obey me. Actually, come over here. Because we need to talk to this laddie. Found your note. Can't say I found your note on your dead person. Of course not. Can't say, hey, we know the Bronze Brotherhood's planning an attack. Of course not. I'm gonna see if that other door opened or not. So, nothing I can do to open it right now, looks like. Alright, alright, alright. Be that way. wanted to find that path to the Bronze Brotherhood and either see if we could subdue them or, you know, eradicate them. 2 days, 2 hours to complete your journey. Yeah. Oh, that's the better way to go, really. Well, that, unfortunate. Alright. Ooh, shadow. It's like black fire shadow lapping up from the bottom. Alright, so we have that. Yes. Your tone seems cold, distant, distrustful. It's almost like you were paying attention all those years. Yes, I knew. I learned about the wording of the edict, and while I did not advocate that you be sent, I did not disagree. Like it or not, you are young, fit, and entirely self-sufficient. You should be flattered to be trusted for the honor of proclamation. I'm asking about your experience because it is not every day that someone breaks an edict, let alone awakens a spire. If I had some insight into your experience, perhaps I could even shed light onto what happened, or get in touch with someone who could. The Bastard City. Oh, right. Oh, greetings. Anda Lustrias, former of Thistleholm. You have the look of someone who belongs here. A fate-minder, no doubt. Do you need something from me? What is it that all these nobles are doing here in Tunan's court? Trying to look brave, I warrant, but if you crane an ear, of any other conversations you hear a different tale. 3 years since Tunon stepped shop here in the Bastard Cities. We're still getting used to the new master, and figuring out what we can and can't ask of them. These are smart, right plenty folk. The way they approach Tunan, you'd think they were raised under a tyrant's lash. Some have come to settle grievances, others pledge fealty. I've been standing around long enough to know the adjudicator does not care for empty gestures. See. Thistleholm. What is Thistleholm? It was my family's ancestral hall. The oldest stones date back to the years when the Bastard City was naught but a dozen roofs, and wagons clustered for warmth. Compared to the houses of the great lords, it was nothing special. Age had softened the wood, and its queer placement in the warehouse district set it apart from the finer grounds, where lords and ladies strolled for amusement. It was a mess, but our mess. I would invite you over for tea. Something stronger even, but it would only disappoint. You'll find naught there but a gaping hole. What happened? Collateral damage happened. When the adjudicator cast his judgment on the Bastard City, he destroyed the district of the corrupt merchant kings. Their manors, their counting houses, and yes, their warehouses. Aged, dignified Thistleholm collapsed in a massive sinkhole, opened under her feet foundation. The Bastard City's laws may not have been perfect by Caro standards, but my family followed them with respect, and never took a copper ring more than we deserved. I can't but feel my estate was not criminal, Tunon had in mind during the sentencing. So what are you going to do next? Well, that is the question, isn't it? I appealed to the adjudicator, thinking he would see reason. After considering my case for all 8 seconds, he awarded me a belt of rings and a plot of land on the outskirts of the city. Tunon told me to build anew and start farming. Farming? Can you believe that? It's not even that I'm opposed to the labor, but we're at war. I can't have the scarlet chorus breathing down my neck, raiding my crops. And Kairos knows what else. Tunon's word is Kairos' law, whether you think it is fair or not. Don't I know it? Meaning, no disrespect to your office, I never question the power of Tunon's words. I come from a long line of smart, ring-savvy merchants, but even I can't reconcile Tunon's justice with Kairos' law. There's something wrong about it. Maybe Tunon knows something I don't. Or maybe... What do you mean? People come here for justice. They usually get a version of it, but it's Tunon's version, not theirs. Half of the time, they don't even get what they wanted out of the ruling in their favor. The deed to a farm, for instance. Not to put my own ignorance on display, but if more people knew Kairos' laws worked, they might not come here seeking a ruling at all, even a fair one. Tunon is a servant of law, but he's the Overlord's vassal, as much as any of us. Sometimes it seems like he is positioned to twist everything in the Empire's favor. We're just pieces on a board, and he can move us wherever the law justifies that we stand. Does that sound legal? Kairos defines law. It is not for either of us to question. I suppose you're not. The bastard cities used to have the laws of women and mankind, but now we have the laws of the Overlord. The people will get accustomed to it in time, and so will I. Good day, Fatebinder. Yes, you will obey my law. I am the law. Well, I'm the law's servant, but we won't get into that. Sweet. Thank you for that conversation. Or we boosted our favor, and I want my favor with Boss Man up high. Alright. We're gonna be accused of being terrible by the Scarlet Chorus, who are screaming and pissing and moaning.
You call yourselves officers of Kairos' army, but your conduct falls short of my expectations. The court finds your accounts of Vendrian's well lacking, rife with misdirection and fallacy, fouled with baseless accusation.
Your Honor, I have relayed the events as I experienced them. You can well imagine why my version conflicts with his. On my honor, and on that of the great general, I would sooner snap my sword than purge myself before you, Archon. Hey, Piger, Pod, whatever. I'm brain foggy at night.
So you imply that falsehood comes easier to my lips than yours? You're a fool if you believe that the Archon of Justice wouldn't see through your lies because the disfavored think themselves better than an honest gang.
Silence. The contradictions in your statements will be examined, and falsities threshed from truths. If we find you have perjured yourselves, Blood and Mark will see to your fate.
The assassin, Blade and Mark, Archon of Shadows, the sword of the Overlord.
Fatebinder, we will start with the matter of the Archons. Graven Ash and the Voices of Nerat have declared war upon each other. In addition to violating Kairos' peace, they have thrown the conquest of the Tears into disarray. By all accounts, these hostilities began shortly after your arrival. Tell us what transpired.
The Archons have been of a different mind since the start of the war.
Your perspective is appreciated, but the dispositions of the two Archons are already a matter of record. Loyal subjects of Kairos have drawn blood from each other, a cardinal crime. Something happened at Vendrine's Well to trigger this feud.
The Archons could not agree on who should lead the siege and descended into accusations of treachery. It seemed to be a mutual spat. The disfavored were more deserving of the honor. Our tactics and training outmatched the Vanguard at every turn.
What a bladderish. The disfavored couldn't trip over the straw hut if they hadn't a week to strategize. Our howling mob was better equipped to overwhelm the Vendrian Guard. Your recruits were ready to throw themselves at the enemy only if Ash and his legion would agree to the plan.
The Fatebinder presents testimony. I warn you both against speaking out of turn. Something more than a mere disagreement unraveled this campaign, but I will return to that in time. Let us speak of Ascension Hall. The disfavored sing your praises across the realm, though the Scarlet Chorus appeal for charges of treason. Perhaps you can offer a more enlightened account.
I claim the Citadel with a small unit of the disfavored.
An efficient solution. The type I would expect from a capable agent. Tell me though, with the edict looming overhead and death the price of failure, why not employ the numerical advantage of the Scarlet Chorus?
The Voices of Nerat provoked Ash at every turn. I suspected treachery.
I will consider this testimony at length. The court thanks you for it. Is there anything you wish to add at this time?
I have told you that which I know at the current time, my lord.
Your testimony is accepted by the court. The statements of our guests raise questions in my mind. There is much about this campaign that has caused me to wonder. A shipment of iron weapons was short on arrival. Where coveted iron is concerned, I don't believe it to be a clerical error. One of my agents recovered this seal in Echo Call. It belongs to a merchant collective. Lethian's Crossing is teeming with their kind. If you would root out treachery, I would advise starting there.
It shall be done, Lord.
Petitioners, leave us. I would have a private audience with the Fatebinder. Ascend and join me. You will find the way opened.
Of course. On it.
Hey! Hey, Teach. Tapping in. My lord.
This civil war, this feud, is an insult to Kairos' peace. It should not have taken the better part of a year to silence the last vestiges of the Oathbreakers.
I agree, Your Honor.
Our allies squabble while our enemies regroup. It falls upon the court to measure the extent of the damage, and to execute the agents of disorder. I suspect that treachery, negligence, disunity, and greed have infected one or both of our esteemed allies. Until you are instructed otherwise, this matter is the court's primary focus.
It shall be done.
Graven Ash and the voices of Nerat must be examined in close detail. You are charged with observing the Archons and presenting your case that one of them has wrought chaos and disorder upon the Tiers.
Could they both be guilty?
It's possible, but the momentum of the conquest up to this point suggests otherwise. The failure at Vendrian's Well implies a coordinated will behind the chaos.
Indeed.
As always, you will be held accountable for what you do in the court's name. But you are free to conduct your investigation in the manner of your choosing. You must expect lies, misdirection, and manipulation. Suffer not such obstructions of justice.
As always, my lord.
The disfavored seem the logical first step in your inquiry. The Legion holds you in some esteem, and Graven Ash has shown deference to the court in times past. No doubt the disfavored will be rife with accusations and evidence against the voices of Nerat. Graven Ash is a noble man, but never underestimate his capacity for deception. A wise general succeeds by knowing when to be unreadable to the enemy.
Indeed.
You should, of course, speak with the Scarlet Chorus and gather their testimony. But it stands to reason that most in the chorus would sooner brag about a pauldron fashioned from your skull than entertain your questions. Do not regret killing the rabble that impede your investigation. They will be easily replaced.
Very well. I will speak with the Archon of War. You insist.
Your fellow Fatebinders have been busy acting as my eyes and ears. I have a few leads for you to follow. You should, of course, speak with your brothers and sisters of the court if you need further counsel.
Very well.
The Scarlet Chorus leader in Plainsgate is set on taking the disfavored's holdings with lethal force. Rumors of aggressive chorus posturing are commonplace, but if you are in the Stone Sea, it would be wise to investigate.
Very well.
The Oathbreakers were reported to be using iron armaments, more than they might acquire from looting what few disfavored they killed. Any iron in the tiers not rusted through was made by forge-bound hands in Lethian's Crossing. Between craftsman and quartermaster, someone let iron fall into enemy hands. Investigate this matter and bring the thieves to justice.
It shall be done.
There is a final matter to discuss. A sensitive topic.
What concerns the court, Your Honor?
In spite of the many shortcomings at Vendrian's Well, you managed to make a name for yourself. You proclaimed an Edict of Kairos, resolved its demanding conditions, and ascended the mountain spire.
Yes.
Any one of these feats would be worthy of recognition by the highest authority. You managed to accomplish 3.
I was only doing my job, Your Honor.
Your sense of obligation to your role is admirable, but modesty will not recommend you to the task ahead. Whether by design or by accident, you have captured the attention of Kairos' army and the local tiersmen alike. This is no small opportunity, and the court charges you with exploiting your new standing to its fullest potential.
As you deem, my lord.
You have a title in our hierarchy. However, it's a little-known secret that one's standing in the world is determined by their infamy, their deeds, and how they come to be known. Mind this notion as you bring justice to this lawless frontier. There may come a time when your deeds speak for you louder than any title.
Yes, my lord.
If your killing spree in the bastard city is any indication, you are no stranger to spreading infamy already. Whatever you did to capture the attention of the masses at Vendrian's Well, I would encourage you to do so again.
Understood, Lord. I shall be a champion of justice.
Good. It falls to us to set a new standard for these southern barbarians. You are dismissed. Should the court have need of your presence, you will receive word. Go forth and do my bidding, and bring glory and honor to the tiers in Kairos' name.
It shall be done, my lord Tunon.
Let's be off.
Fatebinder, you return. You look as if you've questions for me to entangle. Ask if I'm feeling generous. Oh, ask. I am feeling generous. What do you think about the other Fatebinder? You need to be more specific than that. I'm afraid there is one last count, slightly more than a handful of us. The Fatebinder of War. Unival's keen brash, and hearty braggart, with a fondness for bloodshed. He can be utterly unbearable at times. His justice is fair, even if he skews towards rather exacting and uncompromising punishments at times. In the Fatebinder of Balance, Galio is the finest among us. Her discernment is beyond reproach, and she is perhaps Tunon's favorite. She, a mind boasts suspicions and observation that make others uneasy. We who operate within the confines of the law have nothing to fear, of course. And what is your opinion of me? You follow an orderly path, regimented and organized, perhaps too orderly for our station, but that is neither here nor there. If you execute your job with wisdom, be sure you do not stray from the path of chaos. Stray to the path of chaos. Down that way lies rebellion. Let us talk about something else. Can you tell me about the old walls and the Bane? Which should I start? The Bane. The Bane are found in the old walls, but much of their defining qualities still escapes me. There are creatures of smoke, claw, and fang. If you find yourself unfortunate enough to fight one, remember that spells are effective against them, but grab the attention of others lurking near. What can you tell me of the old walls? We know little about the ancient structures, save that they predate all historical records. The forbidding ruins crisscross the tiers in the north alike for centuries before we raised our cities. The only one old enough to guess is likely Kairos. Something else. Farewell for now. I am going to quickly refill liquid as my throat is getting a little dry, and then we shall continue and have as much fun as we can. We are, in fact, one sub away from a game giveaway, so if anyone wants to tip that over the scale, feel free to. We're also working on trying to get follows, so if anyone can share, it is greatly appreciated to bring more in and get more follows so we can press on that objective. Thank you all for being here. Hold tight. We'll be starting up again in just a moment. I have returned. Let's see what we can do. This has been a blast. I really hope you guys are enjoying this. If you are, let me know. If not, let me know. We can always switch to something else. But I have been enjoying this, and I hope you all have too. I don't know how I'm supposed to bring his case Fortune on. I'd like to. Oh, maybe I can go talk to him. Return, it is gratifying to see that the war was not caused you to forget your roots. What is it you wish to know? I wish to speak with you for a request for Barak Stone Shield. And what does Barak of the Stone Shields want of the court? He has made his displeasure known in a loud enough voice to collapse the tears upon each other. He came to inquire if the Forgebound could help remove his armor. He has become encased in iron. That is none of the court's concern. My forge-bound smiths are occupied crafting weapons for the army, and I would not have their focus diverted to liberate one soldier from his ring. Stone Shield, do the disfavored not have standards for upkeep of arms and armor? Is it not one of your Archon's guided principles? It is, your honor, but I find myself trapped in this junk pile after the Edict of Storms hit Stalwart. If you want to blame anyone, it should be Kairos. The soldier will remain encased in his armor. Eccentric though it may be, and all subjects of Kairos's are forbidden to aid in its removal. Magic, the lengths of which none of us understand, has touched the stone shield, and we will not interfere with the will of Kairos. But I am trapped. Your Honor, could you not reconsider if we can deal with the edict coming to conclusion? Could that be then allowed to free him? No! Oh well, we didn't lose favor. I'm surprised and disappointed that you would even ask whatever you are trying to prove. Your traveling companion, the court finds festering with sympathy and lack of precedent. Such is the will of Kairos, and it will leave the court. Okay. Ah, you tried, and I suppose that counts for something. Gator didn't say anything about me bending my way out of here, at least. Not that trying has ever made it any better. I wish to speak about matters of law. And you are well situated for my court in its legal heart, and corruption is uncivilized realm. What matters you curious are well versed in Kairos' law, but I am happy to discuss the particulars. What is the laws on quotas and of sharing? The harvest blooms and blights by the will of Kairos. In times of lean you will be fed. In times of wealth you will feed others. This law is sizable in category unto itself, serving many needs. Trade and tax being only two examples. The broadest intent of the law is to empower Kairos' subject to care for their neighborhood, and expect care in return. You may take note that the law's application to trade, a merchant's right to peddle their wares, is defined in permits granted annually. The regional authority has the right to decide if a merchant sells cabbage one year and sandals the next. Anyone breaking through their restrictions is subject to immediate forfeit of all assets. You need not concern yourself over the nuance, at least until they apply to this contested realm in the time of peace. May you speak upon the magician's folly, Junon? The practitioners of the arcane arts must be sanctioned by one of Kairos' guilds, such as the blood chanters of the Warforged Bound. Rogue magicians with tedious grasp of unknowable powers will not be tolerated. A sanctioned mage whose spellcasting caused damage to the life or property is lawfully deemed innocent as long as they practiced their art in the service of Kairos. All is forgiven. May we speak of the Old Walls? The Old Walls are forbidden, as their contents and their denizens. Owning any item from the Old Walls is considered trespass, regardless of how it came into your possession. Find that in the course of your travels. As the Old Walls are extended across much of the Tiers and Northern Empire, like Kairos permits her servants to pass only where she has sculpted the landscape to permit traverse. Under no circumstance are you to enter a breach in the Old Walls, even for a task as innocent as crossing to the other side. If these restrictions seem too severe, I would remind you that they are for the protection of Kairos' subjects. The Overlord has no desire to see harm needlessly inflicted upon the loyal followers. How may the... That is all for now. Farewell. You don't want to, push too far. Speak with Barak. Didn't turn out how you had hoped, did it? On the contrary, I expected little else from the court. The Archon decision changes nothing. I have persevered in this to this point. I shall continue to do so. For the sake of General Ash in the north. There may be another way. Your master was very specific in his sentence. He forbade not only assistance from the Forgebound, but anyone in the service. Anyone in the world. No. The Archon forbade any subject of Kairos aid you. Split hairs, Binder. The whole of the world bends a knee to the Overlord. If that were the case, we would not be in the Tiers, would we? You're not suggesting we ask some renegade mage for aid? You would discard the spirit of the law in favor of the letter? Oh, trust me, Barak. It is the letter of the law that matters. Not to me the honor of a deed lies as much as the spirit of the action. Perhaps another way to free you will present itself. Your optimism does you credit, Fatebinder, though I fear it is misplaced. The Forgebound will be curious about you regardless. The articulations in the armor is incredible. At the very least, we should examine it for the benefit of Kairos' armies. My armor is unique. Perhaps it can teach them something that will aid the disfavored. We can find Forgebound at their smithy in Lethian's crossing. Let us leave Fatebinder. I worry my presence offends the noble's presence of sensibility. Oh, cool! Got another ability. Let's see, got those. And let's see, we have Barak. Yay, we've got more Wrath, which would not be bad to have that. But yeah, we got Iron Storm. Wow. That is... wow. Kind of crazy. Alright, so Lantry, we have Wheel of Ages. Forgot about that one, we need to make sure we use that one. First, we need to get up a little bit more. That is not bad. So she really is actually supposed to be an archer, not a dual wielder. Huh. Oh, that is kind of cool. That is blades. Okay. Ebb. Why is this not unlocked? Just because you're not with us? That is cool. I need to get you back in the party, Paladin. That is cool. That is cool too. I want to take her helmet off. Make her more powerful. Oh. Hello? Welcome back, kid. Amusing as it would have been to watch the edict drop. I guess I'm glad you live. Yay, favor. I hear you threw your ring on Great Ash side. Not bad bet. Pick the Archon of War, but tell me the truth. Did you go with Ash because it seemed like the right thing to do, or because supporting voices was a worse option? I think you'd actually go for that. Well, let's do this. We'll tell him this. Neither Archon was at their best, but Graven Ash is a more capable warlord. It is favored on nothing not blindly devoted to their general. And though few in number, they are surprisingly difficult to kill. Don't have to lang to understand it. Both have our... turning the tides of war. All that matters is the edict of execution was stayed. Those stationed at the Vengeance Well should be thanked for their lives. Now I assume you're off to go meet with Ash, but first, you and I, a little chat. Very well, I am listening. Everyone's keeping an eye on you because you did something nobody has done before. Got a guess as to what that might be? Oh, well, there's a number of things. I think I know. We'll do this. What? You don't want to know what makes you so important, kid? Kairos has issued a lot of edicts over the centuries, and so far, as I know, the Overlord always picks an agent to proclaim the words and complete the casting of the edict. Proclaiming an edict isn't new, neither is surviving or resolving the commandments of an edict. But you're the first to proclaim and resolve the very same edict. And it didn't kill you. In one fell swoop, you arrived your second edict. So, fell swoop, you survived your second edict, resolved the very one you had proclaimed, and woke an arcane structure that had slept for several centuries. And now, I go on your short list of people who stand out as potential problems.
More or less. Mostly more.
I don't care what you do, information, but you should know the danger you're in now that you've put yourself on the map. Sticking with the disfavored is a smart idea, kid. At least smarter than getting mixed up with the Archon of Secrets. You'll never really be one of them. But if you value Ash's warriors, they serve you the best they can. Very well. Until the next. Yup. Alright, let's head back here. 2 days, 2 hours, 2 days, 2 hours, about the same. Yup. Oh, that's the one we can go to. Not sure why we don't have any others, but that's alright. Welcome everyone, and I hope you enjoy our lovely adventures here in Tarantis as we play Tyranny. We are specializing in the casting of the runes, sigils. Not runes, sigils, but very similar. We shall see what the Forgebound can learn from Barak and his armor. Oh, hello, Master. Your summation is most fascinating. Thank you for sharing. You are certainly not the first to proclaim an edict. Many of us have been used to completing the casting of the Overlord's magic. And you aren't the first to break an edict, though that list of names is far smaller, more exclusive list. What is curious, though, living and recorded memory makes no mention of someone who proclaimed and shattered the same edict. In that regard, you are an anomaly. Bad news is the Archons know this and will be suspicious of this distinction. Along with this parchment, I have included a contact information of a honorable fatebinder with this, an old peer of mine, and perhaps the most knowledgeable in the court matters, not taught to us by Tunon. Treat her with respect. She is not, and she will not betray your confidence. Best of luck. I think things are about to get even stranger for you. Great. I'm not sure that's a good thing. To be polite introduction. Yeah, that sounds about right. Let's see. Dear Fatebinder Mythosis, I write you at urge of my peer and tutor Fatebinder Regulus. He has found himself bereft of answer. A rare condition for him, and I suggested that you may be the only source of answers I seek. If you pardon the imposition, it means a great deal to learn what you know of Kairos' edicts and the magics of the spires. The mountain spire of the Tears has awoken to my presence, an event that occurred moments after resolving an edict of Kairos, so it's critical that I just learn what has happened to me and what all this means. I thank you in advance for your consideration and wisdom. Yeah, that'll do. I don't want to see him as a briber. I mean, I don't mind sending money in exchange, but I don't know that bribery would be the most appreciated course of action. No, this was where we've picked up Siren, not where we met the Forgebound.
Negative, Fatebinder.
Alright, let's go back up a level to the Forgebound and see what we can find. For they should certainly enjoy to look at Barrack and his encased plate. What's odd is it seems like so many don't realize the circumstance of it. I don't believe there's anything else here. No, not on you all. Can we not use... I mean, it says to come to the ones here. I don't know why I wouldn't use the ones in my own spire. Let's look at it. Okay, so we are supposed to go up there. Okay. Fatebinder, what brings you to your forge? I'd hoped you would examine Barrack. Did the Adjudicator not issue an injunction against precisely that action? Indeed, he sent the decision by bird to each of the guild's workshops. Much can be forgiven if done in the service of the Overlord's eternal glory. You refer to the Magician's Folly. The law protects mages from prosecution against harm inflicted in the act of conflict. No, not flagrant disregard for the Archon's decree. Perhaps you could twist it to protect us, but that would be no small feat. When arguing before the Adjudicator himself, allow me to state this in no uncertain terms. Fatebinder, the forge-bound sworn allegiance to Tunon and the Adjudicator. Archon of Justice, we do not easily forget the oath, nor do we rush to circumstance. Our fascination is not limited by our craft. Okay. Thank you for your time. There may be an individual who can help. Rumor has it that there is a mage smith of some mana in the Stone Sea. By all rights, she should have been killed, so I assume that she's worked out a deal with the glowing green bastard Narat. I cannot provide you with a name, but you might ask around Plainsgate if you have a misfortune of being in the area. Thank you. Certainly. Maybe we should have gone to our tower for that. I mean, I wasn't trying to get her to remove it. I was just having her examine it. I thought maybe she would help her make better armor. I mean, like we said, the articulation is better than any we've seen. So, make the disfavored armor better? I mean, that sounds like a good thing for the Overlord, doesn't it? If we can beam better armor for the Overlord's servants, to make them more elite, more prepared, more potent, I feel that would be very acceptable. I didn't say anything about taking him out of his armor. Oh well, maybe I should have selected the option. We'll talk with this dude and see if he says anything different, or if there is no other option. Do you think you could free my friend from his armor? If you think you already know my problem, you don't know the Forge Bound at all, right? Far be it from me for gossip finder, but I've heard that tale that there's someone working in the Runestone Sea. Lethian's Smith is more likely. Okay. Have you completed an item for me? Ah, yes. Okay, so I can talk to him and they'd actually get both. So now if I go to you, you're going to say you don't have any, right? Yep. Ah, so now that's open. 2 days and 15 minutes. 2 days and 30 minutes. You know, let's do Barracks Path. And then we'll go the other route next time. We don't have too much longer, so we'll see about this. Cool. Don't see villagers and Lethian's crossing. Nice! We need that. We need that. And we got 20 rings. That is really good. Alright.
No can do.
Cool air stirs your clothes. Step in the small workshop. Despite the lit forge you see against the back wall, the dark-robed woman stalks the center stage figure dancing against her chin. Eyebrows furrowed, hot stoop, smell airs on her skin, suggesting touches of faced often. She spares a dismissive glance, but follows it with a surprised double take. Oh. Fatebinder. I mean, what brings you to my humble altar? I take it you know me. Does anybody not know? The spire doesn't exactly light up like the sun every day. I see, and who are you? You sought me out, I assume you already knew. Or do you make a habit of walking in strangers' houses? I'm called Lethian. I know my sigils, but mostly I'm a crafter. They keep me around for odd jobs, fixing tools, repairing armor, and generally trying to keep Plains Gate from falling into the Stone Sea. Nice forge. Yeah, thank you, I made it myself. I'm particularly fond of the heat wards, not just on account of comfort. Keeps the place from going up in flames, bearing anything unusual. Had the thought after after Vellum Citadel? After the Vellum Citadel. I have a forge of my own if you'd like to relocate. It has a significantly larger and provides a much better view. Wow. Binder, first you compliment my forge, then you turn around and tell me yours is bigger? You've got a real way with words. I'm happy where I am, thanks. You're a sage? Is anyone anymore? I heard the school's all burned up. Surprised you took notice, Lethian. Here is a former sage. It's not that she ever officially left, it's more that she got tired of the life in the Citadel and never came back. I studied alongside the sages once, years ago. Worked for the Royal Key of Azure for a while. After that, nice work until Karn arrived. Going to prosecute me? It depends on how helpful you are. Then let me ask again. Why are you here? I need you to examine my friend Barak here. This one, I assume? He's, pointy.
Damn it, Fatebinder, why can't you leave this be?
Leave what be? He's currently kind of bad at climbing and sneaking and swimming and, well, using the privy unassisted, and I'd like to see if you could address that.
Fatebinder, you know as well as I that Tunon forbade this. I cannot be complicit.
Just listen. It's for the best. Let me deal with the legal ramifications.
I have little confidence that Tunon will see it the same way, or that you will be able to shield me from his wrath.
I assume that you would want to come out of this with all your bits, regardless, right? Then hold still and quiet down. Before anything else, I need to ask you a few questions. What manner of questions? You understand that there may be some things we can't tell you? I won't ask anything political or tactical or only matters personal. Hardly reassuring. First, have you ever engaged in sexual congress? What? What? I don't know how can that can't be relevant? He doesn't understand the first thing about mystic sympathy, does he? It's important, Barak, particularly in the case of possible convergence of arcane energies, to rule out resonant adulteration. I suppose that sounds reasonable. The armor prevents anything from happening recently, regardless of whether or not I wanted it to. Before that, well, the Legion is, I spent people are cared for deeply. We are the pride of the North, strong and beautiful. And that's all I shall speak of it. I have never passed time with a mage, or an archon, oathbound, beastwoman, or anything else unusual. Nothing unusual. I've always heard that there's a special bond between the disfavored officers and their subordinates. Is there anything that you're unwilling to soil with your perversion, witch? Oh, you wore forge-bound armor during the conquest, correct? And prior to it? What sigil woven enchantment against harm? Was it sigil woven enchanted against harm? I do not believe so. It was iron. Have you had sigil of any kind branded into your skin? I bear the mark of the disfavored, nothing else. The mark of the disfavored? The general's sigil, or rather what of it Overlord decreed allows. Many members of the Legion scar themselves with it, binding their loyalty into their flesh and blood. It marks us as family. I've heard of it, that Gravenash protects. The sages had no direct knowledge of the Archon of War's abilities, but there may many theories. I don't suppose you can provide any concrete information? You ask me to reveal the general secrets to a mage? That is too much. The Archon Ash shares a strong connection with his soldiers. It allows him to take on some of their harm, while also sharing in their experiences. Fatebinder! And you do not need to repair or maintain the armor, I presume? Aside from oiling it and filing down the pointier bits, no. Wait, how did you know that? Okay. Next, you'll want to stick that into him, through his armor. It's going to hurt regardless, but I suspect quicker would be better. Are you insane? Perhaps a little. Come with having most of everyone and everything you know wiped from the face of Tarantis. With a few magic words from distant tyrant. But no, I'm not without reason. You know, because a lot of that's just bad. What a general's name, woman! You'll be okay, Barak. You've faced worse. I suppose that's true, though usually with a bit more warning. Amazing. Examine the wound. You bend close to the wound, but Barak's hand clamped over the hole inside, obscuring your view. I need to see the injury barrack. Hmm. Oh, wow. There you go. Are you seeing this too? His armor seems to be healing just like his flesh. Exactly. And the edges. Your armor and flesh heal as one. That is standard property among the disfavored? Not to my knowledge. If he and his armor heal as one, they're likely mystically bound together. Indeed, Tunon likes them smart. I take it. The question remains, though, why does this happen? I have a working theory, but what I can't make out is what difference you from the other disfavored who serve in the Blade Grave. Maybe it's some trick of the blood, or maybe it's connection to the Fatebinder, maybe something else. But I barely knew the Fatebinder prior to Vendrian's Well. Ah, there's a lot we don't understand about how the worlds work. Kairos' strict structure against literacy and inquiry don't exactly help. I'm not going to turn you in. Before I can suggest a solution, I need a sample of the alloyed iron and bronze from the site of your entrapment. About this much should do. We'll get the samples. Then I await your return. I thought we did that. Yeah. Do not remember your training, young Bladenmark? Under Bladenmark? I remember mine. Funny to think that you and I are about a century apart, but Bladenmark, we all are children. I am now the oldest of the court's children, and I have seen much in my time. It's probably for the best. Everyone assumes I am old, harmless, and worthy of shuffling away in the archives. If I were scrutinized too closely, I'm sure Tunon would find I've grown lax in my spoilage of old age. Part of why I'm where I am is that I've kept my head down. You appear to be doing the opposite. In some regards, this is beyond your control. You were chosen for the honor of proclaiming Kairos' edicts twice. To decline would have meant death, but to accept means to be placed on the stage for all to see. Kairos' most powerful weapon is not edict. It is her ability to hand us rope that we willingly use to hang ourselves. Never forget this. Hey, Raven, welcome. There are numerous questions nestled in your request. What is it you wish to know most? Focus your inquiry, and I will answer as best I can. Ask about the spires, I believe. Yes, I wish to know about the spires. Spires are important. We shall collect all the phylic symbols. Oh, all the way down there. Very well, we'll go here. 2 days, 2 hours. We'll go in later. For now, let us speak with the Ash. Hey, Ashy! Whoop, what's happening? Because, I'm sure he'll appreciate that sort of action, right? Fox-stricken Univis. Interesting.
Found something.
Alright, let's see what we can see here. Greetings, Fatebinder. Akalos, 32nd Legion. Glad to see Tunan's agents grace Ironhearth Ash's troops. There's no lack of order, but servants of the court is always welcome. Between our missing commanders and the Scarlet Corps' lieutenant pinned down, I'm afraid we have our hands full. I suppose I can spare a moment of conversation. Do you need something for me? Tell me of this Scarlet Corps lieutenant. Seymour troops have a lean maggot of Scarlet Corps lieutenant cornered over at Credo Village. From what I am hearing, this same guy who's been ransacking our caravans the past few weeks. If I wasn't already handling something for Ash, I'd go skin the fool myself. You, being here, simplifies the matter. Make sure the lieutenant doesn't leave the village with his life. I can handle that. Question before I go. I believe that's all for now. Halfway dead and you. Interesting. Consider it, not for a second. We pick our soldiers from the elite northern families. We don't recruit from flies buzzing over mass graves. Halfway's dead.
The disfavored, so narrow-minded, my gang's strength delivered us across half a dozen battles, with a line fallen enemies in our wake. Not many conscripts can say the same.
The question is not a matter of your skill, but of your breeding, your training, your pedigree. Hillgraven Ash, Fatebinder. I might take a moment of your time. What do you need? This person comes representing a Scarlet Corps gang. What did you call yourselves again?
We're the Grinning Bleeders. We have a long and storied reputation in the Scarlet Corps ranks, killers of the highest order of my gang. Before I was boss here, I ran with a broken and insulting nightmares and trapped gangs. Everyone made a name for themselves during the war. In any case, he's asking to join the disfavored, which is out of the question. I've explained the numerous reasons why we can't allow it, but the wretch won't listen. I see. Is this accurate? It is. We're not looking for special treatment. Just a new beginning. Seeing as we're healthy, fit, combat, and ready, the Ironclad should have no reason to refuse us. Especially since they're low in wounds. Maybe true, but it's no excuse for poultry.
to pollute our respectable ranks with your company. We're more than capable. Plus, any weapon in your hands and send us on suicide mission. It'll be mercy compared to what the face under no rat. If we join up with the disfavored, wouldn't have compromise staunch northern morals. We would take the bloody work off their hands. And you want me to decide this matter? You must know Kyros's law back and forth, and I trust you know of our traditions as well. If it appeals to the lamprey off my backside, I'll allow it. Speaking of my gang, we'll accept your judgment. We're eager to crack some tearsmen's skulls with Kyros's army again, no matter what color they wear. Let me take your testimony first. Of course, we have nothing to hide. Why can't the recruits join the disfavored? Where do I start? No. Not only does Gravenash handpick the disfavored from the decorated northern stock, he takes personal interest in our training and education. We are his sons and daughters. To accept anything less in our ranks would hold the very process in contempt. The only capacity they could serve would be manual labor, hauling weapons, wagons, or digging latrines. That's work of a slave, and not what they're come requesting. Why this interest in the disfavored? Better training, better quarters, iron weapons. The disfavored have everything we want out of our joining the military. We want to serve Kyros to the best of our abilities. Is that asking too much? The old ironclad here seems to think so. Respect for command leaves something to be desired. Why are you leaving the Scarlet Chorus? Our old gang boss fell at the last battle of Veterans Well. We saw how the disfavored operated, and realized that it was a chance for a better life. A longer one too. There certain happens every day in the Scarlet Chorus, I can tell you that won't be missed. Very well. Give me some time to consider your predicament. That one's a little more tricky. Kind of you to stop and chat. I'm in a sticky situation and no one else in the gang is alive or around to help. Stop wasting your time, Fatebinder. He is better things. Stop wasting the Fatebinder's time. He has better things to do than listen to some criminal mewling. I will be the judge of that. Tell me your problems, soldier. Thank you for hearing me out. The disfavored aren't keeping keen on conversation, otherwise I wouldn't be here. It's impossible to get a word in edgewise. Soldiers caught me outside a breach in the old walls. That's it. I wasn't inside. I hadn't stuck my toe through the threshold. I wasn't dancing with any bane. I have a healthy relationship with the self-preservation. Why were you arrested? You're only hearing this side of the story, Fatebinder. Our scouts observed this wretch ready to enter the old walls. Her account is flawed, her guilt witnessed by multiple trustworthy northerners. I'm sorry. Is it ready to enter the best you have? Because I could just as easily argue that you're ready to get your knife between your shoulder blades. But it doesn't count for until you see the blood and bronze. I didn't go into the old walls. Case closed. I need your mutual cooperation before I adjudicate the matter. If you're asking, this prisoner already been tried and sentenced, but if it's a little game, we'll silence her. Cartwelling, be my guest. Aye, I'll stand by whatever decision you make. I couldn't land me any worse than this. What were you doing outside the old walls? My game went inside. I tried to tell them this failed Claude 100 times over. I shot it myself raw, trying to get them back out. The gang wouldn't have none of it. I later discovered the breach and got themselves excited over a chance to find some treasure. Try as they might, I couldn't talk them out of it. Can you speak to this defense? I wasn't there, of course, but I'm familiar with the arrest record. There was no gang, just a lone opportunist, out to make a fortune, breaking Kairos' law. The scouts could tell just by looking at her that she was headed into the breach. She's a fiery one, put quite a fight when you took her into custody. I have no reason to doubt the charge. What was your gang doing in the old walls? Wasn't trouble, looting. No more or less than what gangs do. Of course, our boss was obsessed with holding his position, which is healthy when you're in the scarlet course. When he came to the conclusion that the old walls might have some powerful artifacts, he resolved himself to find one at all costs. That is very unwise. Funny to see a guy wrapped up in survival trying to get himself killed. Any idea where your gang is now? I never saw them make it out of the old walls, so either they did or they didn't. My money's on the latter. If they made it out, they hadn't wasted their breath trying to find me. Back 'em. Did your gang cause the breach in the old walls? What? Are you kidding me? It was easier to take incredible force and incredible magic to bash through the ancient barrier. We had neither at our disposal. Either one of Kairos' edicts or some local magic caused the breach. Whatever you're ruling, make it. Don't point it on me. I'm inclined to agree. Do not make a mistake of giving this one too much credit. So you have no interest in entering the old walls? Never. I grew up in the Tears. Even we know better than to go inside the old walls. Not because Kairos is law, because the things lurking inside were likely to eat us. Whatever, I can find a shadow loose in the ruin. It's not worth my risk. I'm ready to make a judgment. At the very least, the evidence is insufficient to prove the charge. You are free to go. Shrewd Fightbinder. Very shrewd. I think you'll be doing just fine. This goes against my orders and my reason, but I cannot argue with the ruling of Tudon's agents. I let you go. Try and stay out of trouble. I'll stay out of trouble in the old walls, but not all I can promise. Indeed, rabbit. I got a nice pair of sandals.
Negative, Fate.
Two people here and then into Ash. Even though you are not fully fledged disfavored recruit, I've been authorized to grant you purchasing rights from our stores, within certain limits, of course. Would you like to see what we have to offer? What are those limits? It's nothing personal, I assure you. Graven Ash wants to control our supplies without restricting access to his army's supporters like yourself. The finest arms and the freshest provisions are reserved for the soldiers under his direct command. I'm sure you understand. The Archon takes our protection very seriously. So, an agent of the court deserving enough? As Tunon's vassal, I am sure that you're afforded certain luxuries that don't extend to us. The same goes for the disfavored. Aegon Ash recruits us from the Northern Empire, so we are subject to his favor, such as his right. Yay! Why not? I thought about letting it go. That will come in handy later. If we can get Barrack out of his situation. Don't know that the others are that. Sigil of Stone. Yeah, but I don't have enough. Oh, we need to give this to Landry. Ooh. That is nice. Guess I could use it. So, fine, superior. Guess we can probably part with those then for now. Because we do need to make a little money. Light leather. I believe we already have the sandals used. Yep. Gah! Still not enough. Is the stone sigil? I want it. I just don't have enough money. Gah, barely. Liquidated a lot more than I wanted to. There we go. Yeah. Petrify. Sounds kind of fun. Ah, you're only at 57. You need to get more, man. You need to get more. Yes, for the coffee. All hail the coffee. Alright, can't do anything more with that. Dude, Lantry, how'd you get 96? You went ahead of me somehow. Oh. Alright. You are correct. There are spires all across Tyrantus. The exact distribution of these monuments fuels all sorts of debate and speculation, but two facts seem commonplace. Most spires are built near old walls. The mountain spire is a notable exception, and nearly every culture that predates Kairos has some local myth to explain the builders of these spires. I believe the Tearsmen cite the older realms as their local name for the spire old wall architect, but nobody knows for sure. And of course, where Kairos has brought proper civilization, the origin of the spires simply isn't discussed in good company. Here's what I think you need to know. First, the spires behave as arcane lodestones. There is a constant field of magical strength around a spire. If you imagine a mystic sea resting atop our world, the spires seem to spin and churn these magics, creating a spell cast with even modest effort with powerful results. Second, and I say most tellingly, Kairos has laws against entering the old walls, but there are no laws against the spires. You could infer from this that it means Kairos has no issue with the lay folk messing with the spires, but wishes to keep us safe from the old walls. Or you could think that, like the Overlord, now that if you place a rule against something, you make it forbidden and desirable. Now I find it telling that Kairos forbids the hallways that lead to the spires, but does not paint target on the spires themselves. Last but not least, you, as a young Fatebinder, I once had to oversee the case of a man who had built a shrine to Kairos around the base of a spire in the far southeast. I could find no evidence of falsity or slander. His shrine was a most reverent and lovely tribute, as I've ever seen. At one point, though, this man claimed he had evidence that Kairos was here back in -50. He had merely uttered those words, and my superior binder swung an axe then and there. Being a new girl at the court, I said nothing, but I've long wondered why such a comment should require the death instead of traditional removal of the tongue. True. So Kairos was near or at a tower in -50. What about edicts in their nature?
Will do.
Graven Ash protects.
I was speaking through that because I thought it would be a store, but apparently not. She's something else. information, as you saw. You can feel free to pause it. Sorry about that, I didn't realize what it was. That was my fault. Interesting. Fatefinder. No one in recent history has reached the pinnacle of Aspire, and yet you step atop it as if they were intended for your occupation. What do you have to say for yourself? I am still in the process of determining exactly what it could mean. Take care with your curiosity, then. If the arcane behind the spire has been lost, there is likely good reason behind it. I would hate to lose a capable agent due to some calamity. What does it require? Could you tell me about your connection with your soldiers? Every member of the Disfavored is a precious to me as family. Their bloodlines are known and respected. Their performance in combat is beyond every exception, and I would go any length in their service. They call me General or Archon, yet I consider myself a servant and guardian of these excellent men and women. But I suspect that is what you intended to hear. There is a deeper connection. But to appreciate it, you must understand our history, my rebellion, my rise to power. Ravenash Archon of War is capable of shielding his soldiers from injury and fatigue. This protective influence exerts itself even far away from, or as he sleeps. If he sleeps at all. Yeah, there you go. Few understand how this arcane power works, but all who have faced the Disfavored in battle attest to Ash's soldiers can survive serious harm and shrug off fatigue and starvation or long marches in heavy armor. When Disfavored are wounded, Ash's Aegis, some refer to as Archon's unique power, appears to help the Disfavored swiftly recuperate and return to battle. Nice, nice. I do wish to know more about the Disfavored. We are more than mere army. I ensure that the Disfavored Legion represent everything we hold dear in the North. Rigid discipline, training, and to perfection respect for the law and the importance of family. As a conqueror, it is our duty to teach the savage lands, not just how to live up to the values of the Empire sets, but how to live for them. Do the Disfavored have their own laws? I hold the Legion to a particular set of standards. We do not have laws as you would know them under Tunan's teachings, but every soldier in the Legion is aware of my expectations. The first, honor the Legion in thought and deed. I cannot allow atrocity and heinous crime to drag my respectable northern men into shame. I expect my soldiers to follow Kyrus' mandate and conduct themselves respectably. The second, honor all oaths with your life. This respect the vows made to me as Archon of Kairos, as Overlord. There can be no formal marriage of the Disfavored ranks. This is to prevent any obligations higher than the military. My soldiers can pair up and sire offspring as they wish. Northern need daughters and sons, and I would not force my countrymen to choose between family and loyalty. And last, honor your shield and weapon. The maintenance and care of arms and armor are critical to soldiers' success in the field. Of course, there are rare exceptions. How do you fare under the shell of iron, son of Barkunian? Well enough, General. I know I am not in top form, but I am able to execute my duties with distinction. As you say, as you say. What of the units? What's the legion made up of stone shields? They are the bricks in our shield wall. The Ironwalkers are the trained and efficient killers who branch out from behind the phalanx to fight among the enemy ranks. Crescent Runners are the fleet-footed light infantry who bait the enemy into premature attack. The Oathbound specialized scouts and advanced infantry. Then there are the Iron Guard. Tempered in the forge of war, armored to survive any blow, and commanders of surpassing skill. The only other unit are my Earthshakers. The former mage, Garen, commanded avalanches and harness nature's fury to our ends. Legion's history. Yay! As Kairos conquered the north under a single banner, there were those of us who resisted the call of unification. I was younger warlord at the time, vigilant and inflated by pride. I rallied the sons and daughters of the north to stand against Kairos. Our offensive was valiant. We planted our shield wall between the armies of Kairos and our homeland, declared that no tyrant would dare cross us. Go on. We held our ground for a time, drawing the attention of others who would add their strength to ours. Every victory was discussed and celebrated by other warring factions that refused to submit. As you have witnessed, none can stand against Kairos. Eventually my legion shattered against the relentless onslaught of Archon soldiers. They brought me in chains before Tunon. He told me the enemies of Kairos would all be put to the sword unless I took that one opportunity to surrender and join the fold. Go on. Out of loyalty and love for my countrymen, I swallowed my pride and bent the knee, offering my sword and life to the Empire. My army was granted the right of Kairos' peace, and we lived on as servants of the Order. Since we had transgressed and rebelled against the offering of Kairos' protection, my legion was stripped of their decorated name and dubbed disfavored, a mocking remember of our past crime. Even as we stand above all others in the ways of war, we struggle to earn back Kairos' favor. Every soldier in my legion is descended from those who stood with me back during the rebellion. I keep them close to me because they were the finest northern stock, and their continued lineage is a reminder of Kairos' mercy. That goes for you as well, child of the North. By your unwavering loyalty and respect for our heritage, you are beloved in my eyes. You regard the Southerners with great severity. The South has squatted in willful ignorance of Kairos' superiority for far too long, that they don't deserve my respect. As the rest of the Empire coalesced into a united, shared culture, the Tearsmen prided themselves on this as distinct. We looked on them from afar, with nothing but scorn. All that I see, tears, confirms my bias. There is lawless neglect, corruption, infighting, everything the valued North has been disposed of through superior breeding and culture. You don't see that as contradictory? You stood up against Kairos after all. Hey, I gain more wrath. Not that that's what I was trying to do, but hey. That happened centuries ago during the earliest days of the Northern Conquest. If you think these periods of history can easily be compared, then you are more short-sighted than I could have imagined. No, I just need the lore experience. I stood against a presumptive overlord to defend a way of life that no longer exists. The South can afford no such illusions. Kairos has dominated every corner of Tyrantis, and claiming these lands by might is already accomplished in all but name. Of course, it is possible that these tiersmen may come to enjoy all the best of Kairos' offerings, but it will take generations of trial and long-term education of the culture as they know it. A worthy pursuit, any standard. Something else. Your rebellion against Kairos. The uprising of the past might inform our present efforts, if you do not mind. Yay, favor. They might at that. None of the squabbling tiersmen hold a candle to my efforts, but I would rather you marched forth understanding your enemy than not. So, you want to hear how I decimated the armies of Kairos, built my legion around northern values, and achieved measure of power? It's truly that I accomplished much of the northern warlord, but my life began earnest under his tutelage. Tell me about did you defeat during the rebellion? I defeated Blood Echo, the Archon of War, at the time, by leading him into a trap. He must have been so consumed by fury and of the hunt, he overlooked a bit of hasty misdirection. Even by the execution of that foe was nothing compared to the victory I would win. I also defeated Voices of Nerat. Oh. Strange to imagine that happening so many years ago, and here we are again. My legion nearly destroyed the Scarlet Chorus, humiliating them in fact. I suspect the Archon of Secrets is still licking his wounded pride. His soldiers are disposable and unloved as anything can be. Voices holds his pride and satisfaction in higher regard. He's crafty enough that nothing can wound him deeply, though I seem to have earned his distinction. What was it like to assume the Archon of War mantle? Well, at first I was unaware that I had assumed any power beyond my normal authority. It might seem obvious now, but war tends to confuse such things. I had no desire whatsoever to claim or accept such responsibility under Kairos. It took years for me to fully come to terms with my own surrender and subjugation, but if I was meant for any title in the honored hierarchy of Archons, war seemed to be an appropriate one for me. In truth, I think myself more of a general and a father. Tell me about the fightings of the Archons. We won many battles against the Archons, though we did most of the damage against Voices of Nerat. He was by no means the only Archon to assault our shield wall. When the Archon of Entropy tarnished our weapons, we fought with wood. When the Archon of Sorrow sapped our fervor, we rallied around songs of the North. I dismantled their offensive, even though I lacked the Archon's education or experience. No doubt, this is one of the reasons Kairos singled me out to join the ranks. How'd you rise to power? That is a tale bound in rebellion itself. I always inspired loyalty and devotion in my soldiers, but as the years wore on, I grew to love them truly. Every stone, every shield, to me, as the blood relatives, and I would go to any length to see them succeed. As we all know too well, gentlemen, when we stood tall against Kairos, the women and men of the Legion trained harder, marched further, and endured more than I ever had taught them. We were unstoppable. The soldiers credited me this new advantage. I even gave them total commitment, and they felt protected, strengthened by my perseverance. At first I thought it was merely their nature to look to their leader for courage, but nay, they were first to discover the truth. You mean the Aegis? You clearly paid attention during the conquest. My Aegis, as it came to be called, covers my loyal soldiers and protective shroud. They also have 10 times the endurance and coordination of standard army, and shrug off lethal blows without incident. At first, I attributed this performance to my legion, to their training and breeding, but soon it became clear that something greater was afoot. I suspected the redoubled Kairos' interest in me. The power of an Archon is something to be nurtured, or stamped out in accordance with Tunan's judgment. Once the forces of Kairos viewed my influence over the troops as demonstrated threat, they resolved to put an end to my defiance once and for all. They sent every army they could spare after us, all but sacrificing the Scarlet Chorus in the process. Eventually, as all detractors do, even I fell. I hope your silence reflects your awe, Fatebinder. Anything less would be a sign of great disrespect. They dragged me to Tunan's court in chains. I killed a dozen guards in the journey. If I was to be shackled for the Overlord's delight, I would pay back the dignity in blood. When I knelt before the Adjudicator and felt the force of his judgment stare, my temper cooled, turning from anger to fury. Tunan offered me the terms of my own sentence. If I walked the path of insubordination, then the lives of my soldiers were forfeit. If I bent the knee to Kairos, an opportunity that would not present itself twice, then I could continue to serve my liege as their Archon. It was a difficult choice, but not so trying that I paralyzed me. My soldiers had not earned such glory to see it snuffed out before their time. After I made my choice, Tunan invited me to Council of Archons, where my loyalties were affirmed, and my place among their number sealed. In a compact to Kairos, no sooner had I become an Archon to my soldiers than I became an Overlord's Archon of War. You already know the rest. My vaunted legion became disfavored. The Archons ever forced me to cast off my northern surname. Graven was a joke at my expense, since I buried my pride in the past. I am a vassal of Kairos now, but the protection of my soldiers is secure. I have guided their family lines across generations, and the disfavored show no signs of slowing. That is enough for now. Farewell for now. I need to call it for now. Thank you all for joining and having such a wonderful time here. I do hope you have enjoyed this thoroughly. Be sure to tune in next time. If you have not followed, be sure to follow and turn on notifications so you do know when we are live. It is a blast sharing this game with you all. As I said, I hope you enjoy it thoroughly, as I have. Until next time, and as always, enjoy the story. Good night, Raven. Let us see who else is available. I wonder if anyone else is on to get you over to, otherwise we will just call it here. And apparently I can make an echo because it's not muted. We'll send you over to the Wicked Viking. He needs people to pester him. Thank you all again. I appreciate it greatly. We will see you all next time.